Writing has a reputation of being a completely solitary art form. It's just you, the coffee, and your laptop. And yes, there's a lot of that, but writing is actually a team sport in disguise. And I'm not talking about what happens down the road when you start working professionally on your book with a team of editors, cover designers, and whatnot. I'm talking about connecting with other writers. This is extremely important. Why? When you start out, you'll come to a point when you get stuck and need to ask for help. The writing community is an amazing wealth of information, so it's a great idea to connect with other writers to get advice and to discuss what it means to be a plotter or a pantser, how many words is the ideal length of a chapter, or when you should write from first person or third person point of view, etc. But as you keep writing, you'll probably realize that you need a second pair of eyes on your work. When you're stuck inside your head for too long, you can't tell if your plot twists are genius or complete nonsense. So you need fresh perspectives to help you. Not just your mom or best friend, you need some people who will honestly tell you what works and what doesn't. People who understand pacing, tension, plot points, and character arcs. These people are usually called beta readers. Actually, they're called different things depending on what stage your writing is in. Critique partners are used while you're still writing your first draft. Usually you swap work with your critique partner on an ongoing basis, a few chapters at a time. Critique partners are more about giving zoomed-in feedback, like if something in your text feels confusing or boring or over-explained and things like that. A good critique partner will also help you develop your prose and your voice. Alpha readers are for when you finish the entire novel and want someone to read through the first rough draft before it's fully polished. They shouldn't focus so much on the prose, but instead on larger scaled issues like plot holes, character inconsistencies, and pacing. Beta readers are for when you edited and polished the novel and want someone to give you their thoughts on the general reader experience. Personally, I find it hard to distinguish between these three. They kind of bleed into each other. I think I had like 30 people read at least parts of my manuscript, True Hate's Kiss, before I landed an agent. I called basically all of them beta readers at the time, but only about 10 of them read the entire thing. But it's okay. Most people mix this up and will just ask for beta readers no matter what stage the manuscript is in. So don't fret if you don't understand where to draw the line either. It's common to swap beta reads with each other, which means that you will be giving feedback to other people as well. This is a great opportunity to develop your craft. You'll learn a lot by reading through others' work and reflecting on why certain things work and others don't. You should, however, be aware that even if people volunteer to read for you, many will ghost you and never read at all. Don't take it personally. There could be a ton of reasons for why. Usually, it's just life getting in the way. Of those who do read, you might feel that some offer feedback that just isn't good. Maybe you realize that this is a writer who hasn't come as far as you in their writing journey. Or maybe it's someone who's constantly asking for feedback without giving as much in return. I've actually had feedback from one person that I was pretty sure was written by AI. Luckily, I had only shared my first chapter with him. Another thing you will learn is that even if you have good beta readers, they will give you contradicting advice. I posted this on Twitter a while back. Beta reader 1, Mark's section. This is unclear, please expand. Me adds 10 words to explain. Beta reader 1, perfect. Beta reader 2, marks the 10 words. This is over-explaining, we understand without it. Me, facepalm. And this resonated with a lot of people who started discussing this. Many said that you should never change anything in your manuscript unless at least 2 or preferably more beta readers comment on it. But I'm not sure I agree with that because as I've been doing a lot of beta reading myself, I know I tend to skip commenting on some things because honestly, if I would comment on everything, I would never finish. But just because I didn't comment on something doesn't mean that it's not an issue that might need fixing. But ultimately, it's up to you. You need to feel that it's right in your gut. My suggestion is always start with just sharing one chapter with each other. That way, you can see if you're a match before sharing more. And remember, it's never too soon to ask for feedback on your text. I see many writers out there afraid of sharing their manuscripts, scared of getting negative feedback on the work they've spent so much blood, sweat, and tears on creating. But don't think of a critique as someone not loving your story. Think of it as someone helping your story shine even brighter. Because here's the truth, you can spend years publishing your work in solitude. People are still most likely going to point out a lot of things that you can improve. And it's better to catch those mistakes early on than to write 100,000 words before discovering your rookie mistakes. The sooner you get outside help, the faster your craft will improve. Last but not least, one of the most important things you will get when you connect with the writing community is people who will support and encourage you. Writing can get lonely, and you need people who understand what it means to write and rewrite and edit, edit, edit. People who understand the agony of using the word agony 2 times on the same page. People who know what it feels like to be bursting with pride over their manuscript 1 second, only to get imposter syndrome and be convinced they're as skilled as a cat at karaoke. You should also be aware that joining the writing community can be overwhelming. It can actually fuel your imposter syndrome when some people post about their successes. You might start to ponder why that guy, who is several years younger than you, have succeeded in much shorter time than you. Trust me, this is a major part of being a writer too. There will always be unicorns out there with amazing success stories, and it's okay to feel jealous, but never poop on their parade. If you're not in the headspace to handle someone glowing with pride, just ignore it and scroll on by. But you will also find people who share their feelings of loneliness, of failure, and even depression. And you will come to realize that everyone struggles, even the ones who share success stories. Most of those have actually been struggling for years. And then you start to realize that maybe they actually deserve to be happy for finally succeeding. One of the things I absolutely love about the writing community is how people are there for you, how they cheer you on when you succeed, and how they lift you up when you're feeling down. To wrap things up, your writing will go further faster when you have people cheering you on, challenging you, and pulling you out of your head when you're stuck. The story might be yours alone, but you don't have to write it alone. So, how do you actually connect with other writers? In my next video, I'll talk about what platform to choose and how to start connecting with the writing community.